Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking channel. I'm Darren, and today I'm going to do something you probably maybe haven't seen before. I actually just found it a couple days ago, but I'm going to put my twist on it. Deep fried sous vide smoked ribs. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright all, well, I got my ribs out of the pack, and these are 2 racks, decent sized racks of baby backs. They were on sale at Sprouts, the local grocery chain here. I got my sous vide container getting up to temp. We're actually going to smoke these first though. I got my Camp Chef Woodwind Wifi set at high smoke, and we're not going to have them in there very long. We're just going to put them in there for maybe about an hour just to get some nice smoke on the outside. I washed these off. I just got them wet so that the smoke and the rub will stick to them. I'm not going to really season them up with a regular rib rub. I'm actually just going to season them up with some salt, pepper, and garlic. My own percentages here. I use the Fresh Jack's seasonings, but I use my own percentages of salt, pepper, and garlic. And I'm just going to get a light coat on these on both sides, and just so that this can kind of brine, get that salt deep in the meat when it gets in the sous vide. So we're going to smoke these for about an hour. Then we're going to put them in these vacuum sealer bags, put them in the sous vide at 155 for about 24 hours. We're going to take these out after the sous vide when it's done tomorrow, and then we are going to cut them individual pieces, and then we're going to deep fry them, batter them up, deep fry them. And like I said, this is not really the recipe that I saw, but it gave me some ideas. I try to always put my own kind of spin on stuff. I don't like to just steal people's recipes. I like to get inspired with different ideas from people and then create my own, put my own spin on it. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, Mark Lambert actually soaked his in water for a good amount of time before he battered them up and fried them, but he didn't even put any smoke on them. So I figure, since you know it is the 4th of July, these will be for 4th of July, I'm going to put some smoke on them. We're going to sous vide them to get the meat nice and tender and cooked. Then we're going to deep fry them really fast, get a nice batter on them, and eat them up, see how they turn out. But to do that, we are going to cut these into individual pieces when we pull them out of the sous vide bath. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these on the Woodwind, and then we'll be back in about an hour. Be right back. Alright guys, I took these out of the Camp Chef Wifi Woodwind, and they were in there about 45 to 50 minutes. I didn't want them in there very long, just enough to get some smoke on them for some seasoning. It dried off all the water, all the moisture on here. I just put a temp probe in. They're about 100 degrees or so. So they're really not that hot. And that's good, because I didn't want them to cook at all. I just wanted them to get some of that smoke on there for flavoring. So when we cook it in the sous vide, it kind of cooks, stays on there, and then when we fry them up, it'll have a little bit of that smoke flavor. And we're going to see. I've never done this before, so we're going to see, and we're going to find out. So what I'm going to do with these now is go ahead and get these in my vacuum sealer bags. I've cut my vacuum sealer roll bags to fit the ribs. Then we're going to stick them in here. I got it set at 155 for about 24 hours or so. Let me go ahead and get these in and get them sealed up. Like I said, they're not very hot. They're sitting right at about 100 degrees internal temp, which is just fine. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I like using the channel vacuum sealer every once in a while, because you'll do something like ribs where you need to get a longer bag and won't really fit in a chamber sealer. So it's good to have that channel sealer for stuff like this when you need it. All right, guys, I'm gonna get these vacuumed up and then we'll put them in the sous vide, and I'll see you in 24 hours. Alright guys, it's been over 24 hours. My ribs are done in the sous vide. I got my oil heating up. I got my flour already. And what I did with the flour is I took about 3 cups of all-purpose flour and about a little over a quarter of a cup, probably more like a third of a cup of cornstarch. Mixed that together, and I seasoned it up with some of the Fresh Jack Smoky Southwest, probably about 3 tablespoons of this, and about a tablespoon and a half of the rosemary lemon seasoned salt. And that should do it for the batter seasoning. I want these to have a little bit of a kick to them, a little bit of a bite, a little bit of salt, and the lemon and this rosemary lemon is going to give me a little bit of tang. And then the sauce we're going to use with them, you can use whatever sauce you like, but I'm going to use the Frank's Red Hot Sweet Chili Sauce. This is a really good Asian type sweet chili sauce. I think it'll go really good with these ribs. So I think my oil is getting close to temp. And just kind of verify that with my Inkbird instant read here. I wanted it 350 because they're already cooked all the way through. They're not going to be in there for very long. So yeah, it's right over about 265. So we got a little bit of ways to go with that as far as the temp going on the oil. But that'll give me enough time to cut my ribs up. I'm going to get that flour out of the way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out of the packs, put them on the cutting board, and just cut them up, and I'll be right back to show you how I'm going to do that. Alright guys, I got my ribs out of the sous vide bags, out of the water. Just remember, be careful. You got water, oil, they don't mix. So I was really careful to not let any of the water splash into my oil here. Don't want to end up causing a big problem. I'm going to go ahead and give this a check one more time. We're getting close to 300. We're at about 295, getting right at 300. So by the time I get these cut up, we should be fine with our temperature. So I probably don't even need to check that again. So these are ready to go. I'm going to keep them wet. I didn't dry them off because I want that batter to stick to them. So I'm going to go ahead and just start cutting these right in between the bones. I flip them upside down because it's easier to see the bones that way. So you just kind of cut right through them. That's it. Got my first rack. I'm probably going to have to do these in stages. I'll do one rack and I'll do the next. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and start putting these in the batter. And just toss them around in there. Just be kind of careful because the meat is, like I said, already really tender. You don't need a whole lot of batter on them. So you don't need to like do a double dredge. Just kind of get them coated, kind of knock as much off as you can, and just drop one in, see how it goes. It's starting to fry. It's probably still a little bit too cool, so I might crank it up just a little bit here, just to because I know it's going to cool down the oil when I put the ribs in there. But alright, I'm going to go ahead and dredge the rest of these up, and then we'll start dropping some more in a minute. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and get that one rib out of here. because it's about done. It's only been in there a couple minutes. I'm going to let that kind of sit here and cool off some. As you can see, it's golden brown, not a lot of batter on it. I'm going to let that cool off a little while I get the rest of this rack in there. As you can see, I don't have a whole lot of batter on there. You don't want a whole lot, you just want enough to kind of coat it. I'll just kind of drop that in. It's been sitting here for a minute, so the batter kind of sucked in a little bit. Make sure you shake off any excess. Alright, we're going to let these fry up. It'll probably take, like I said, 5 to 6 minutes, and they'll be done. I'll be back. Alright guys, I got my other ribs cooking here. I just wanted to go ahead and finish up and show you what that looks like completed. It's got a nice crust to it. I'm going to go ahead and do my taste test now because I still got a bunch of cooking to do. It is 4th of July, and it's Florida, and it's hot out. So I don't want to sit here and sweat for you on camera. I'll take some nice pictures of when they're done. Like I said, Frank's red hot sweet chili sauce is what I'm going to use as a sauce on this one, and it should be tasty. I'll take my bite. Whew. So tender. It pretty much melts in your mouth because they're already cooked. We got that little crisp of the frying on there, the batter. Awesome. The seasoning before the sous vide, you can still taste that. That little bit of sauce. Wow. Don't laugh. Fried ribs are a thing. Baby backs, check it out. Try it. Look up Mark Lambert's recipe. There's a few other recipes on the YouTube too as well, but using the sous vide first really makes these nice and tender and juicy. And try it. Oh, I can't wait to eat the rest of those. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you follow the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. I'm going to go finish these up and get back inside in the air conditioning before I sweat to death. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.